This video is all about something called story focus. And as I'll explain to you, it's when you can summarize the story in 3 words. Meaning, can you answer who does what? This is the 3-word question you want to start answering as soon as you have your story, no matter how vague the story or story idea might be. As an example, let's use a story I did about General Motors investing more money into one of its production factories in Arlington, Texas. This story-focused case study takes us to the GM automotive plant in Arlington, Texas, where on this day, GM had sent out a press release talking about how the company was investing $330 million to expand the Arlington plant specifically, and also by way of doing that, add 110 jobs. So a big local news story in any media market, and especially Dallas-Fort Worth. That's the top 5 at the time that this video was made. I love featuring this story for story focus because typically when you make a story focus, you make it about one character. Every news package has one big character in their story. There may be some other characters, a character reacting to a story, or an antagonist, or some supporting characters. And in this particular story, there are 2 main characters. So I'm going to walk you through regular story focus. You're just going to see it twice and see how that weaves itself to make a news piece. So let's watch the piece first and then we'll unpack it.
I don't stay in one place, you know.
If smiles like Lonnie Allen's came standard on cars,
I'm inspecting.
yours might come with 2.
That was fantastic. I was expecting it. I was hoping.
They're more fortunate faces than the almost 1,200 SUVs that'll come off the line today. GM announced it's investing more than $330 million to expand this Arlington plant and add 110 jobs.
Oh, it means great for my family, you know, because I'm very family oriented. My daughter and sons, my grandkids, they all live here. And it's fantastic news for us, you know, for everybody here.
News 2 years ago ushered concern over the company's future in 2009 after the plant closed for 2 months when GM filed for bankruptcy. Today's announcement brings job security.
Oh, hey, yes, and I think, you know, with this product, we've been working a lot of overtime here, and I expect that we're going to be working overtime for a good while on this thing.
Building the next generation of SUVs will help Jack Hargrove invest in his family's future.
I have a son that's fixing to go to college, and I was kind of worried, how things were going to be. But now I can relax and let him kind of pick where he wants to go. And
it's also foreshadowing financial freedom workers haven't felt in years.
now we're all can relax and know that we still got a little bit of a future left out here.
Working in a direction that keeps them moving forward. Andrew Tenielian, NBC5, Arlington.
And there it is. So you see 2 main characters there. We have Lonnie, we have Jack. And just by the nature of the process that day, I happened to talk with Lonnie first and then Jack later on. So Lonnie made it into the piece just a little bit more than Jack did. It wasn't quite half and half, but that's okay. With Lonnie, what happened with the story focus is when I read the press release, I knew, all right, workers are relieved. There's a lot of money being pumped in. There's jobs being created. Also, too, there's a lot of money being pumped in because they're getting more orders for cars. So that means more work. So I also know, too, in the back of my mind, that these workers may also have the opportunity to work some overtime, which for an hourly employee, somebody who wants to make more money, they want to work more hours. They're open to that. So I know that workers are going to be relieved in the automotive industry with very positive automotive news, especially considering in 2009, as we learned in the package, not only did GM file for bankruptcy, this particular plant shut down for 60 days. So we learned that Lonnie is relieved. Awesome. Why is Lonnie relieved? Well, as I was talking with him, Lonnie revealed that it's because most of his family is physically here. So He's happy that not only is he relieved because he can now provide financial security and stability to his family, but that's important to him because his family's right here. After that, then we move on to Jack. I like to have multiple people in news pieces. So in this case, we found Jack and started talking with him, and we too learned very naturally, obviously, Jack is relieved. Jack is relieved for the same reason Lonnie is, because he can provide financial security to his family. The cool change up here is what that means for Jack. And for Jack, a little bit different than for Lonnie. For Jack, it was because his son can afford to go to college. Also, too, taking it deeper, not only that, but Jack saying his son will have options for college, in that it does not have to be the most inexpensive. And then now I'm reaching the time where I have introduced the great news GM has. I've introduced you to one character. I've talked about the conflict, so I've balanced this out that times have not always been good for GM and certainly not good for these people. I've introduced you to Jack, so you have a second opinion about what's going on. Now what I need to do is, now that you've met them, and now that I've been able to give you the objective information through my tracks, you've been able to feel it through these two people, I'm going to remind you that all of the workers here, the hundreds of people you can visibly see, they all feel the same way. So the story focus here, they didn't go as deep as they usually go in the stories where I have one character that's the main mega blockbuster star. But here, focus still served us well because we knew the rhythm and cadence of the piece. We started in general, workers are relieved, met Lonnie, cool. What's Lonnie's story? 3 lines, got it. Who else we have? We talked to Jack. What's Jack? We've got his 3 lines. Perfect. So we knew how this was going to be revealed by this story focus outline. So we did the exact same thing here that we do with other stories. It's just we didn't go as deep into the characters because there wasn't time for it. Also, too, to be honest with you, I'd have to take a look back at Lonnie, but I remember doing this story, even though it was a while ago. And that was pretty much their stories. Lonnie's didn't get to be a whole lot more detailed than that because I didn't really have the opportunity to spend like a half a day with him. I had like 10 minutes. So Lonnie's story was basically the length of what we told it for. And the same thing with Jack. Quick couple of points. Here's what I'm liking about it. This provides hope. And that's it. So again, that is story focus here, a bit more simplified than what we do, but such a great example of a daily and such a great example of what you're going to have to grind out every day.
And that's it for Story Focus. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll see you in the next video.